Hi again, this is Bill Hermann with the Bill and Jason Show, and welcome to another one of our best of shows. Today, we're going to share with you excerpts from June of 2014 and March of 2015.
Anyway, new topic.
Oh, please.
Okay,
please.
so one of the this actually came up when this came up as a subject when I was at the Digital World Conference or whatever. So it was Digital Media World kind of thing. It was
it was like in Beverly Hills, wasn't
in
it?
California. Really expensive. Like all panels. I mean, people complain about like, oh, it's so expensive to go to the DJ conference. It's like, in real industries where they charge real prices to go to real conferences, it was like $1,000 a head to go to.
Well,
this
you
thing.
were in Beverly Hills, California.
I know, but still, okay, so like $500. Cut that in half when you have it in Las Vegas for a conference. You know what I mean? Like other professionals, that's what they pay to go to their conferences and learn.
You went to it with John Young.
John Young of the Disc Jockey News,
right.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like a Pretty Woman experience?
What kind of experience is that?
Rodeo Drive, walking into the shops.
We didn't go to
where
Rodeo
they wouldn't sell
Drive,
something to you.
It's surprisingly small. Rodeo Drive is
really.
Yeah, it's like about a half a block long is all. Tiny little boutiques with very few things in them.
That's not what it looked like in Pretty Woman.
Very expensive. Well, how they frame things. They can make very small things look very big, which is good
I need
for
to
some
go
actors.
there. When can I get a ticket to that place?
But that's not what I'm trying to talk about.
I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to talk about is this idea of DJing for a virtual client in a virtual environment.
So
I'm talking about like Second Life.
It was kind of like for people who don't know Second Life, that's like Sims or...
It is like Sims, only it's this entire world that the Lindens have created. There's an economy in there, and there's actually a millionaire that was made out of Second Life selling
like
real estate.
money?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a currency, but like the Bitcoin, you can trade your Lindens in for cash.
No way.
Yeah, and so like you would go and DJ an event and get paid in Lindens to DJ, and then you like cash those Lindens out into real money.
So there's people actually doing this. We talked a little bit about it, but I didn't think there were actually people doing it.
Well, I've been searching for someone to talk to. So this is where my appeal to you. If you know of anyone, or if you have ever heard of anyone, or maybe you have actually done this, have actually DJ'd in a virtual setting in Second Life, we would love to talk to you about the experience.
Well, why find a guy to do it? Why don't you do it?
Well, I looked up like what it would take to DJ.
That made a really funny sound coming out of you.
Well, it was amazing, like what it would take, because it's so much more technically complicated than what we even deal with plugging in our speakers, right? I mean, basically, with our speakers, we got to know, like, okay, we got to come out of our mixer and go into the speaker and then have power, and we're ready to go,
right?
For the most part. This, you need a whole online radio station, and you need to stream, and then you got licensing considerations, and you got just tons of stuff.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's would be involved in actually DJing at a venue, in a virtual venue, in a virtual space. You'd be paid to do, I don't know, somebody's avatars get married.
So you're going to do it, right?
Avatars don't actually get married. They just hook up in Second Life. It's just debauchery is what it is. Even though they've actually quarantined that activity to a specific island now, I guess.
There's an
island of debauchery. Does
it cost you money to go to? Do you have to get a Linden to get on there?
Well, no. According to according to the columnist that I was reading, that actually went back to, in 2010 he went back to Second Life, and in 2006 he went, and it was like bustling, and the avatars were bumping into each other, like getting around, like, hello, all these newbies were checking it out. And then 2010 it was like crickets. And part of the reason is because gambling and virtual sex is what has driven this, even though that virtual Second Life says, no, that's not true. People are just living ordinary lives.
ordinary virtual lives.
That are kind of like their real lives.
Living in a virtual world is ordinary.
Yeah. Or it can become that, I guess. So.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
Hurt my speaker.
Anyway.
Sorry, hit the microphone.
So I wanted to find out, like, what it would take, and what it was like trying to find somebody who actually performs and DJs and this sort of thing. Right. And I ran into this article, a long way around to get to this article.
Yeah, but
I ran into this article.
You got to set it up.
From a gal that actually owned a rock club in Second Life.
a rock and roll music club.
A rock and roll music
Not like
club.
a club where we get together and talk about gemstones.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And we'll include the link in the description to the article. But she shared five traits of a good Second Life DJ, a good virtual DJ.
She actually wrote an article on how to
Mm-hmm.
do this, because there's so many
Well,
Second
it's
Life
not
DJs that were bad, you had to write an article to find the good ones.
Apparently.
All right.
So anyway, what was really, really interesting, I thought, is that her thought about like compensation.
Okay, how to pay them.
How to pay them.
Because you actually do get paid in these lindens, and these lindens you can take and you can cash them in for actual money.
Different services that little avatars provide other avatars and things like that, that aren't sex related.
See,
supposedly. And
supposedly.
Anyway, so her idea is that DJs should work for tips. Like come into her club and work for tips.
On her virtual club.
Now, here's the thinking, okay? The reason a club owner gets a DJ is to draw people in the place. So the expectation is you're a DJ with an audience. So you come with an audience that's gonna, I don't know, buy virtual drinks. I don't know how they make money at the club, how a club owner makes money, but or admission or whatever that is, right?
Right.
And so that they will be coming in, but from the point of view of this club owner, that you have an audience, they'll be glad to give you tips once they're there. You're providing them a space to play, as if a DJ with an audience can't just find a space to play. Like, can I rent your hall? I'm going to charge admission and make my own money.
Well, if you're a
here.
DJ working for tips, why wouldn't you be a virtual street performer DJ with a hat on in front of you, like you're pounding on pickle
Exactly. You
jars.
don't really need the venue, right? So now here's where it's all backwards and where I think it gets really funny. So naturally, you have lots of followers, you're going to get lots of tips, you'll do just fine in money. The club owner doesn't need to pay you. They'll make money doing what they're doing, and they don't need to pay you because you drew all these people into the club. Okay, confused?
Okay.
If you play your set
Yeah.
and nobody comes,
Yeah.
then the owner should pay you.
If nobody's there to hear it,
For your time. Because, you came, you tried, you did your thing.
a pity payment.
Like a sympathy payment.
You poor thing.
You tried
Aren't you
to
sweet?
perform
Here's $1.
and have an audience. So if you rock and you bring in tons of people
Little
and
something
tons
for
of
your
money in the
time.
club, you should make your own money. Figure out how to make your own money. But if you blow...
Apparently, that would be helpful if you were in Second Life.
Then it's like, well, we should pay you because you did spend the time to stand there and pick some songs.
Now, I wonder if she wrote this article because you'd get a lot of people to go, "What the hell is wrong with you writing an article like that?" Or if is it like
no?
Is the Second Life for these people kind of like
there
Bizarro
were four
World?
other traits. This is a very serious article.
This is, but
This wasn't a joke.
Okay, so if it isn't a joke, is Second Life kind of like living in Bizarro World? Like everything is opposite?
Is she attempting to be opposite? No, it's just another reality. It's a virtual reality where you are an avatar, where you never gain weight and you always look good and you always look young and you never age.
So what she's saying is this is the way it ought to be in the regular people.
Functioning. What's that?
And it's what she's saying is if she in the regular world where she might own a club in like real person world.
She is talking about
only in Second Life.
In a traits of a good Second Life DJ. But the thing is, obviously, her point of view from the real world informs her view inside of. If she was a club owner, I think she would think this way if she was a club owner in the
I think
real
if she
life.
was a club owner in real life, she probably would go out of damn business.
Yeah, you would think, or she wouldn't have any DJs working for her.
And I
hope.
Hopefully, I'm not throwing a curveball at you because I'm sure this is the part of the article you wanted to talk about. Well, but what were the other traits? Do you remember?
The other traits.
This was a curveball, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a curveball.
Was there one that you remember off the top of your head? Like, be sure you bring your records. Your virtual records, and have your richer virtual needle on the record and a needle on the record and a needle on the record.
That's a good
and
song.
And the drum beat goes like this.
All right, pulling up the link.
Which, by the way, was never really a drum beat to go la 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 la.
Some of the other tips are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
that your DJ should be a fan of the music your club specializes in.
Yeah, well, duh.
So, don't go in and
don't go
like,
into a country club and go, hey, here's something you guys are going to, I know you love, but you're a bunch of jerks because this sucks.
I'm going to play hip-hop for you.
Because you guys are a bunch of jerks, and you don't know the first thing about it, but here's some of that country music you hate.
Here's some good music. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, you can't. That would probably be good advice in the real world, too.
That the DJ should be friendly, regardless of whether they talk on the mic or not.
Okay, so that is a good
so when
piece of
someone
advice.
comes up to request a song, you don't want them to say, get out of here.
Well, I think it's really funny that she would have to write that down because she's probably had a DJ in her rock club that was people came up and asked for a song. Shut up!
Leave me
You're
alone.
stupid and your music is stupid, and I think you hope you die to go have some virtual sex on Virtual Sex Island.
I'm trying to win a Tetris.
Right.
The DJ should not expect it to be waited on hand and foot.
Oh,
You are not a star.
So I can't stand there waiting for you to bring me a virtual drink. I got to go make my own virtual
You're gonna
drink.
Make your own virtual drink, or
figure
bring
out
your
what
own
the-
virtual six-pack.
Work on my own O's and ones to make my own little virtual cocktail.
Right. I'm sure you could buy some with some Lindens.
That's true. That's true.
The DJ, and finally, the DJ's not a drama queen.
Oh, that's not true. What do you mean? Not a drama queen.
Which obviously
Back off. I know what I'm leaving. I'm leaving now.
she's never heard of Snickers.
She's never heard of Snickers.
Well, there's obviously no virtual Snickers.
No, that's not right.
So, as if there were, then the drama queen fixed. Well, is it give them what they want, or is it being someone that helps them discover what they want? I mean, if you think back to all your clients that you've talked to, especially in your sales meetings,
Right.
Because like in my sales meetings is when actually the whole discovery process is not to get the sale, but the discovery process to figure out what they want.
Right.
Because 99% of the time they go, what they want is a list of things they don't want. And that's a natural human thing. We're trained to go like, okay, I'll figure out what I want by telling you everything I don't want, and
Right.
hopefully I'll be left with what I want, which
Right.
usually you're not left with what you want, you're left with what's left.
Right, I think but that's a human thing. That's not just a wedding thing.
No, right.
Yeah, you go looking for a car, you don't want one that's a lemon.
Or right, or I don't want
know
one
what
that's
that
too
means,
big,
but- right.
and I don't want one that has too small of engine. I don't want it to be underpowered,
Right.
And I don't want it to be too loud. I don't want it to attract police attention.
Right. I want a DJ, but I don't want him to do the chicken dance, and I don't want him to bring out any props, and I don't want him
Right.
to speak.
Or
and
do
I'd
a
like him
thing
to
that I
just
didn't.
hide and
Right.
not do anything except for, in fact, play this list in order exactly, because what I've seen in the past scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And even though it scared the crap out of me, I'm still going to go out and hire what I think is awful. So I'm going to whittle away all the things that I think are awful until I have an iPod.
Right. Well, and based on what they think is available. I mean, that's the one thing about like the entertainment experience. People take the entertainment experience. One of the things that's like they leave the workshop very excited, but they're going into a world where the consumers aren't shopping for what they do.
Right.
Because for the simple reason, not because they don't want it, it's because they don't know that it's available. I mean, how many times have you had a consultation where they're like, I didn't know this was even available.
Oh, just about every single time.
Yeah. And so then the process becomes for them to discover that what you can create for them is the want that they didn't know they had.
Absolutely. And then I think that's a thing not only within brides, but it is within people that DJ them at all. I mean, you get into DJing and you've seen what brides and grooms have seen. There are lots of DJs out there, but a lot of them are the same.
Sure.
And because they're the same and they see the same thing every time, it's like watching a movie you really love. After the 10th time, you're like, I don't know if I like that so much. So you've already got people out there doing that.
You watch a movie 10 times and then you're like, I don't know if I like this so much.
I'm not that kind of a person.
Who does that?
I'm the
If you're willing
sicko.
to watch it 10 times, you must love it. I want to see if I can get sick of this. Oh, this is getting boring.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. If you see, but if it's a wedding, if it's something you have to see. In other words, at a wedding, you go to the DJ is the DJ. You can't turn the channel. The cake is the cake. You can't turn the channel.
Right.
So if I've seen this cake a million times, or I've seen this DJ a million times, then you start to think cake always tastes the same, and DJs are always the same. And
DJs are DJs.
It's not fair, but that is the perception, and it's such the perception that many young men and women who get into what we're doing go out and do that thing, that boxed thing that everybody thinks DJs are, and then they're creating the thing all over again because they're no different than what they've seen.
And that's predictable.
Right. So when you have
like any profession or any industry,
right,
that's
and same thing with photographers, same thing with any kind of art or rather any kind of business. They look at the past model and they just recreate it, and then they put their name on it or a new logo and say, well, this is why I'm different because it's me, which I get and I agree with. But if you're serving the same exact cake with a different name, it's still the same exact cake, which is where we come at from the entertainment experience. It's like being able to look at what you do and deconstruct it to create it with purpose around who you really are. So it really is truly different, as opposed to, okay, well, I've got gear and I've got music and I can play it loud and I know how to do the shoe game, so here I go.
Right, or just doing what you see, like you look around and go, oh, that's what it is to be a DJ, to act like a DJ, to be a DJ. That's what it is. And that not just from a negative point of view, like just, getting up there and just playing music. Not just, I mean, playing music is a really important part.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not minimizing that by saying that, but what I'm trying to speak to is when you just look at what you see most of the time, which is like I know one multi-op company from a couple that I talked to that actually asks in the planning process, they say, do you want a DJ that talks a lot?
As opposed to
a DJ that doesn't talk much at all.
Or an iPod.
And honestly, with that question, I don't know any. I am a DJ. Yeah. I like DJs. I think DJs are cool. Right. And if given the question, do you want a DJ that talks a lot? I would lean more towards no than I would yes, not knowing what the DJ is going to talk about.
Right, because it's not about that he talks a lot.
It's not about the talking.
Right, because I know you and we in our performances talk way more than other DJs and never have anybody go, man, I wish you would shut up.
Yeah, gosh, this guy goes on and on and on because it has purpose. It has, there's something, a motive behind it other than I'm doing a thing.
Right.
So yeah, but that speaks to like what most of consumers are accustomed to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Going back to the original idea of this whole little rant we went on is that the consumers think it's a certain thing, and it's so systemic that DJs think it's a certain thing as well. There's this very small subset of people in the DJ world who have realized that it can be something else, and that they can create something uniquely unique, and then they go out and do that. Now, does everybody do that? No, there's still that grand amount of people that have just decided that, well, I'm going to be in the DJ business, so I have gear and I know how it goes, and this is the music that works, and we all do the same thing, but I've got a different logo and I've got a different face, and I might not annoy you, so you should hire me. That's the way it is. That's just the way it works. My cake might be a little tastier or look a little prettier. My photography will be this as opposed to that. So. It's understanding that it is and can be as unique as who you say it is.
Yeah.
As opposed to just kind of, oh well, I am what I am, and what do you want from me? Well, that should be even more powerful. You are what you are. That's the one thing that makes you completely unique. Now, how do you take that and build it into something that is something that they don't know what they want, like what we were talking about.
That's the whole why of the entertainment experience.
Right.
I mean, that's what has had us continue to do it, because the whole purpose of it is to give people the tools to create something original, to create something innovative, so that, our dream, I believe, is that along with the pages on the newest dresses coming out and the latest cakes decorating and all that sort of thing, is the latest in entertainment. And that entertainment is being generated and created and innovated inside the DJ industry. So it's not just especially when it comes to weddings, it's not just, well, but I'm a DJ and I do what a DJ does. It's like, well, what if you're a wedding entertainer? What do you do if you're how are you creating entertainment as a wedding entertainer? And the key operative word is creating that as a collaborative kind of thing. And there's all kinds of different ways to do that. And if you do what Steve Jobs did, which was, he said, okay, this is how people like to use computers.
Right.
They want it to be easy. They want it to be at their fingertips. They want to be able to figure it out without thinking about it very much, and be really accessible and handy. Why don't we make the iPhone? And nobody asked Steve Jobs, hey, when are you going to make the iPhone? Nobody did. Right? And then he went like, what do you think of this? Here's an iPhone. And everybody's like, iPhone? And he's like got 55% of the whole phone market, cell phone market, because he spoke to what people wanted. Didn't say, tell me what you want me to do. I'll make you happy. They don't know what you want them to do. I can tell you what they want you to do. So
right, and exactly, and one of the reasons that we do what we do with the entertainment experience is that the only thing that DJs have ever had to be able to make themselves different in the past is a new light. Ooh, a new controller. Look, computers. Wow, these speakers are amazing. You know, that's the only way we've had to go out and say, okay, I need to take my business to another place, to another level. A lot of people like using the word level. I don't know that I agree with levels, but it's just taking yourself down another path to create something new,
to differentiate,
to give your client something excited to look at. Whereas what we found was there's a place that you can go creatively that regardless of your entertainment background, regardless of whether or not you want to be an entertainer or not, there are these avenues you can go to that have very little to do with the equipment that you buy. Because everybody can get this equipment, but only you can create the collaboration in your own brain around the creativity to actually make yourself interesting and take yourself to a new place, not necessarily a new level, but to a new place that will take you to what you consider that new level. That's what's so exciting about this and the reason why we even still do it.
No, exactly. Well, and just think about Jason Jani, right? So, I mean, you and I are really...
Yeah, he was nothing until he met us.
Exactly.
Man, he should be calling us and thanking us every day. Jason, I'm expecting my phone call.
I was going to take a little longer way to say that, but, get right to the point. Why not? But no, how our approach is much more story and MC oriented and all that sort of thing. Right. Although, we play music and we do a fair job. I would say we're like party DJs, play the hits, play the ones people want to hear.
Yeah, we're not that.
And you listen, but then you listen to like the art that Jason Jani creates when he's mixing, which is a whole nother appeal. It's like a whole new appeal. It's like listening to him play at Mobile Beat, I'm like, I want to get married again and have him do that at my wedding. You know what I mean? Just because of the magic that he can do in all kinds of different genres.
But I would say that he also takes the same approach.
Oh, absolutely.
Words or no words, he looks at what he's going to do, where he's going to do it, who he's going to do it for, and why all those things are important, and then where he wants to go and why he wants to go there. And from that, creates that story with the mixes and the creation of the dance that he does. And it is unique in its own damn self.
Well, and he's always watching the audience. Like, how can I enhance this moment? How can I enhance this moment? I mean, even Mike Walter pointed this out in his article when he was talking about Jason, how Jason had heard Carr talk about the Ramones in his lead up
to Penn Jillette's
at
and the
then
Mobile Beat show.
He introduced Penn Jillette, and while he was doing that, of course, Mike, every DJ is, what's the DJ doing while this is happening?
Yeah, because he's hardly paying attention. He says, ooh, look at the needle.
Right. And so Jason wasn't back there like waiting to push the button of what he already prepared. He was listening, and he's like, oh, the Ramones. So he's searching, puts in the Ramones, and then what is...
As
Penn
they say, ladies and gentlemen, Penn Jillette, and you've got...
I want to be sedated. Which then Penn starts to tells a story.
And singing to it. It was
and
great.
then tells a story that's like really funny and creates this whole thing out of the moment. That is what is magical about being a DJ without even saying anything.
Right.
To be able to like put in the perfect song in the perfect moment at the perfect right. And that's just what he's like a master of. So there's so many different ways to approach it.
That speaks to everything except for his equipment. That speaks to how he's listening, how he's being, the purpose he's put into what he's doing and why he's doing it there. So if because of that, he was in a place where he could actually hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that no one in the room went, oh, we better put the Ramones on, until they went, oh my gosh, the Ramones. I would have done that too. They might have, they might not have, but he was so into the moment.
Right.
He was doing exactly as he should have done, as any performer in the moment, in the listening. He wasn't talking.
Yeah, he was
Carr Hageman
really
had the center, and Penn Jillette was about to take it, but just because he was on stage and not doing anything, is one of the things I speak to in the workshop around a story we tell about Michael Caine. Same thing. Just because you're standing there doesn't mean you're not doing something.
Right.
It isn't. You're still part of what's
still
going
in
on.
the scene.
And because of it, he created a moment in a 4-day conference that people are still talking about.
Yeah, incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
You want to talk about something else?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's wrap up the show.
All right. Well, thanks again for being a part of the Bill and Jason Show. And if you want to know more about what we do, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. You can check us out on Twitter. I love getting tweeted. I've said that a million times. Our website, BillAndJasonShow.com. And tell another 10 people so we can have another 10 listeners, which should probably bring us up to, what, 45?
Yeah, get all share happy with
Honestly,
the link.
that would be really awesome.
That would be really great. Thanks again for tuning in this week. We'll talk to you again next week. Bye.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth, at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production. Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.